The kids are almost in bed. There's a few adult beverages, not enough, and it's time to podcast. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, the show about fatherhood, gaming, and new dads figuring out their gaming lives. As always, my name is Trevor, and I have a 4-month-old.
My name is Gavin. I have a almost 3-month-old.
I'm Jeff. I have a 2.5-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Beautiful stuff. Gentlemen, how was your week in fatherhood and gaming? Gavin, if I throw to you.
Fatherhood, pretty good. She's doing lots of fun, adorable things. Today we went to the library. In Toronto, you have like these, like every Tuesday, at least at our branch, it's like this free story time sing-along thing where you just sit for half an hour and sing songs and bounce them on your knee. So that was pretty fun. A lot of cute babies there too. Yeah, no, everything's going pretty good. We're having some quality time, and as far as gaming goes, I finished off Metro, the first one of the two. I got that done. I'm trying to clear my dance card for fall.
Climbing that ladder. One game down, just 50 more to go. You'll be all set.
Which is hilarious because the game essentially ends with you climbing a ladder.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I wish I did that on purpose. That's awesome.
Yeah. So you did. You totally did. Yeah, no, gaming's going pretty good. There's I want to try to get back into PC gaming again, but because I spend my entire day on my PC making games, I don't want to look at games on my PC anymore. Even though, like, really, a monitor and an HDTV are just the same thing, pretty much, and a console and PC, the guts are pretty close. But there's just something different about sitting on the couch and put my feet up, which is more relaxing, I guess. But
yeah, it's fun. Yeah, just to add on that, I mean, I think I'm full PC now. I mean, I have an Xbox 360, haven't bought the new stuff, but definitely miss the couch thing. Like, you can run a cable to it and you can kind of capture it, but it's never quite the same. But yeah. I do find there's like a bit of accessibility to it in the sense that if I'm working on a project and it's super late, like I can literally just toss in a game of Hearthstone or of Rocket League, like do a Mac. You know, it's
whoa, we need the counter Hearthstone.
Yeah, sorry. Fine. It's a good game, man. But let's go with Rocket League. And it's just finished up this task. My brain is just fried. All right, so fine. Just grab a 10-minute match of Rocket League and then hop right back to it. And what's great is it's just a matter of grabbing the controller, play it, put it down, get back to the work as well. It's not a... When you sit, I find sitting down with a console, it's such a specific task. It's like, okay, now I'm going to like move myself physically over to this area for the purpose of gaming and get into it. So,
it's like running a bath.
It is exactly running a bath.
It's basically like a console gaming, at least for me, it's like running a nice warm bath. You pour yourself a nice glass of wine.
I like my warm baths.
Yeah, and it's like you enjoy that nice soak. Whereas, like, I find sometimes how I treat PC gaming is more like that quick shower just to get the job done. You know? I gotta wash my hair and get to work.
Is there some magazine that we can like plaster these quotes on to sell consoles? Let me pitch something to you. You bring a TV into the bathroom,
which is a bad recipe.
No.
And then you get your console and you put it into the bathroom as well, and now you're soaking and you're gaming. You combined
wireless controllers. It is now actually possible,
and not exactly lethal. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
There's not enough power in the battery to do any real damage.
No.
Maybe prevent sisters or brothers for our kids, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. If I'm sorry, and to rapidly change gears again for no particular reason. I can remember when my son turned like the 2 months. I found the 2 month and the 3 month a really great turn. Because I think the first month is really just such survival. You're getting your feet on the ground again. You're figuring out what it's going. Everything is terrifying. Like this thing is gonna die any minute.
Like until you have two, you're just like, whatever.
But then you're like, I got
the fittest.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second one. Yeah. By the time the second one comes around, like I think like it's gonna be like we've done this dance. We know what we're doing. But yeah, like that first month, and the baby doesn't do much for you. Like there's no acknowledgement. There's no, you can't play with it. You can't do it. Should we let that just roll for a second? That's to perfectly punctuate the.
They do a lot for you. They give you headaches. They give you anxiety. which is
So it's all input. There's no output, and then all of a sudden, at the 2 to 3 month mark, like they laugh at you for the first time. You can start to do things to get them to giggle, like they're playful and they're now exploring and it's fun. Like man, so that so far has been one of my favorite turns. I imagine every other month is probably going to be a new favorite, but yeah, this 2 to 3 month is such an incredible switch compared to what the first month was. Which
I agree.
I'm gonna tap it. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
he's out.
he's done. That's it.
He has dropped the microphone. He is full on dad mode.
Yeah, that's what happens, right?
So what's great about it though is he didn't mute his mic before he left.
No, let's go. That's okay.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. Quiet like a pro. Look at this.
Nice.
Jeff-
For the rescue.
Yeah.
Perfect. His baby.
Jeff, how was your week in gaming and fatherhood?
Fatherhood was, I guess we started like swimming lessons and stuff like that. That's kind of after school. So both kids go to the swimming lessons at the same time. But my oldest is really great at swimming. He can do, he's actually in like a separate class but in the same pool. And my youngest screamed the entire time. Kind of what is happening to Gavin right now. The entire time, and he's 2.5, so
He's like terrified of the, he's just like scared of the water? Or?
He just wants to be with his brother. So it's like a brotherly love, which is awesome. But dude, you need to chill out. So that was 30 minutes of horrible. But it ended up they're switched. So I switched classes. It was a little bit of a dad moment there, but they're good. Oh, you back? You good? Yep. In terms of gaming. Nothing much really. Just got back into Rocket League a little bit more with the expansion packs and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah. But otherwise, a whole bunch of stuff was released for PlayStation today that I really want to get my hands on, but I'm just gonna wait it out for sales.
Man, so much stuff. Like there's a crazy game, Wild. Boundless was another one. Looks Minecraft-like. They finally put a date on No Man's Sky,
which is ridiculous. June,
that's
ridiculous.
That's
fun. June.
It's gonna be hard to. It'd be interesting to see if they can keep up the momentum. There's so much hype for it right now.
I don't know.
You're upset about June because that's when the kids are off from
That's right.
summer. You're like, really, June?
I can't do that.
Why can't you just at least wait till September then? Like, why does it got to sit there when the kids are like, let's go play outside? And you're like, no, I want
No.
Come on, guys. Think of the dads. Think of the dads who want to play here.
Come on.
Yeah, but man, just then Street Fighter, new Street Fighter coming out. I mean, we did this list last time. It's still daunting. Like Battlefront comes out, Battleborn comes out, Overwatch comes out. Those two are getting into their betas currently. So a bunch of gameplays leaked. Just like,
Fallout's gonna be doomsday for Gavin because they're just not gonna be on the show anymore.
Yeah, I think
Fallout all the time.
It's gonna be like a little Fallout icon, like in his stead, with a crying baby in the background.
Little bobblehead.
That's it.
I'm forgetting a big one. Fallout.
I wanted to get into Divinity: Original Sin, which is kind of like a Diablo esque game, and I couldn't play it on my crappy old Mac, but I can play it on PS4 now. And it's got online co-op and couch co-op. Kind of neat. But again, $60 I'm not going to spend.
You should get your wife in on that one.
That would be a good one to test. She will not do it. But it would
Baby, you're going to love this game. We totally have to get it as relationship building. Relationship building.
What are you doing? Yeah,
just like, man, that's the hours too, man. Like that one looks massive. Like
it is a big one, so I don't know if I'll.
And Gavin, like I'm surprised. Like I imagine you're torn between, not necessarily torn, but I mean there's Fallout 4, then Just Cause 3. Like Just Cause was your jam.
Oh right. Oh.
Right.
Yeah, they're both coming in my way. I'm gonna cave on both of them, but but that's the thing is like that they're the two that I've picked. Like those are my like. I'm not really worried about. I'm not gonna. Battlefront looks phenomenal, but I don't have time for multiplayer right now because multiplayer requires a play session that is on. Like your teammates want you there. Your teammates can't have you like I gotta heat a bottle, guys. I'll be right back. Like there's a like Vader's coming over a snowy dune at us, and you left us, and now we're dead. We're like
Thanks, baby.
Left us in the
Jeez.
trenches.
Or like the others, like I'll just pause it and feed my daughter, and then when she's back to having a nice nap and she's snoozing and doesn't require any of my attention, then it's like, okay, resume. So I like that style of play, and I think it's just more conducive for this age. Maybe later on when, like right now with Jeff, like you got bedtimes and stuff that are, and babies that now can communicate with you and you can talk to them.
You have bedtimes and stuff. This
That's amazing.
Such a sad statement.
You guys have bedtime? Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
Do they go to bed and they sleep? Oh my god.
Like we're quite fortunate, but like it's also just a matter of it's like, okay, sweet, I'm taking advantage of this and I'm going to get some sleep as well. So and I think right now too is like my work is very busy because I got a couple projects that are coming close to their ends, and that's of course the final push kind of thing. So because of that, what time I have is pretty evenly divided between like fatherhood and work, and then I might grab like a half hour to an hour here and there to sit and play. So to also the financial investment for Battlefront, like it's not exactly a cheap game, and to get all of the maps that you're going to want to keep, because like playing like I know with Battlefield, if you didn't get the map packs, your servers would start to dwindle when a map pack was released because everybody go play the new maps, and the matchmaking would not have many people to pair you with because everybody's over in the new playground that you didn't buy access to. So to stay on top of that and DLC, it's like, yeah, that's great, but that's a lot to invest, which would just go unenjoyed. So if I don't have time to enjoy it, why invest in it when I have two other games that are gonna tickle me pink? So why not?
Because just like besides the cash, it's almost like a bit of a dice roll as far as how much time you're going to get. Because who knows? Like as we're going through different phases of parenthood, because maybe I don't know, like 2 months from now, my kid starts going down a lot, and then he goes through a phase where he's not. So all of a sudden, like we all have a mutual friend who may still join up on some podcasts as to drop in from time to time, and was having some sleep sessions with the kid, or like just sleep training, and just couldn't do it, just was not able to do it. So if you're dropping like 60 to 80 for a game, can't wait to play this, oh wait baby, never mind. It's like that's a great looking, well, you don't even probably have a box, it's probably did download. There's a great looking box I bought. So I think like it's kind of funny with the advent of all these gaming. Gavin, I mean, you mentioned going back to PC gaming, like one of the penultimate benefits of it, I think, is the ridiculous sales on it, where it's just like, and there's such a crazy backlog. I saw today Dragon Age Inquisition was down 50% from the original price, and that's only going to keep going. Like by Christmas, I wouldn't be surprised if that's like 75% off. So it's almost being a parent and given like our timing that we have for games, it almost feels like that crazy sales arc that seems to follow all the new releases like really caters to us. And then ideally you pick like just maybe one or two within a year that like it's like, all right, this is my guy, I put my money on this horse, this is going to be my game.
Even before the baby, like I would pick games where I'm like, yeah, you're a day one, and I'm going to get this one day one because I know I'm going to play it, I know I'm going to love it, and it's going to scratch that itch. It's usually like a Skyrim, or even like Grand Theft Auto 5. That was a day one purchase. Like games like that where it's like, I'm gonna love it, I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna enjoy it, so I'm just gonna go buy it. Where there's other ones where it's like, yeah, I am going to probably really enjoy this game, but like, I'm not jonesing for it so bad right now. Like, I'm getting my gaming fix with these couple titles that I don't need to buy everything the first day it comes out. It can wait. It can stew. And, it's not even a matter of price. It's just a matter of priority. And it's like, no, I'm having fun with these ones. I don't need another game right now. It's like buying another book when you got 3 other novels on your nightstand. It's, you don't need to, like, finish your books and then buy that novel. And you might get lucky and it'll be in paperback by then and you'll get it for less. So it's the same sort of principle.
I'm in the same boat, but as long as you, like, if you can hold off on a game and not get spoiled, then that's all the better, right? It's kind of like Uncharted 4 would be a day one buy for me, just because I know somebody out on the internet is going to spoil the ending, and then that would be my game spoiled, right? Whereas a game like Fallout or something, you kind of create your own path. There is an ending, I'm sure, but it's all about the journey, right? Versus Uncharted, where it's like a 12-hour compact. Like if I was spoiled on Last of Us, that would have ruined the whole game for me.
Yeah.
Like I can't take that kind of stuff. So those ones will be day one. I don't want to be spoiled. It's like a book, right? It's like someone telling you the ending of a book.
I just beat Last of Us this summer, like my first playthrough ever, and I managed to avoid getting it spoiled for me.
That community was pretty good at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
For not spoiling it, but a lot of people out there will just YouTube comments. Don't go into YouTube. Our comments, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But not
our comments are great. Yeah. No, but I mean, with like I know that I feel you almost have to search for it a bit harder than with other spoilers. Like with TV show, if you don't want to be spoiled on it, like people want to get on and talk about what's happened, and then now you're kind of ruined. With a game, I mean, it's so not nuanced, but involved. Like the entire path of how you're going to possibly get there. Like I'll say, for instance, like you're mentioning some sort of twist. I still don't know what that is for Last of Us. It feels like it doesn't feel like something that would just be punched in your face. Like if you search Last of Us, like the first sentence on Google is like, hey, guess what? Here's like the ending. Ha.
It was a ghost all along.
Yeah. It was his brother. But yeah, so fortunately, it kind of feels like games, you have to work a little bit harder to get spoiled. Because yeah, I have no idea what's ever happened in an Uncharted game. I don't know what's happened with Last of Us. At some point, I do intend to like play those ones, because those in particular seem like events as far as gaming. Mm-hmm. That's defining our kind of.
Like, there's a lot of things that happen between point A and point B. Like, even if it gets spoiled for you, you can still enjoy it. Like, it was shortly after I had first met my wife in college. She is having me read through the Harry Potter series because she absolutely loves Harry Potter, and now I do too. Not just because I have to.
And spoiler, he's a wizard.
But no, she was having me read through all the books, and I was partway through a particular book, and my roommate, who had no interest in the series whatsoever, but had found out what had happened in the most recent book, and it was a pretty big thing. And I'm not going to be that guy, so I'm going to say bag about all this, even though this thing's like been out for so long. But yeah, no, he basically like, so-and-so dies, and I'm like, I was literally a chapter away from that point, and this was like a few books in. I'm like, really, man? Like, I'm this close, and then it's like somebody just, you know, kicking in the door, like, the Titanic's gonna sink. It's like, oh, come on. Why'd you do that?
There's got to be some leniency for dads, right? Like, we don't have the time to do these games in a day. That some people will get a day one, some teenager, and then sit down, play through 14 hours of it in a single playthrough, and then post all their comments on, you know, just to ruin it for them. You do have to search for them.
They're posting all their comments in 4chan, so it doesn't matter.
It's like, you guys, did you see what happened with that? Oh, shh, there's a dad here. There's a dad here. Shh, shh. There's a father. Keep it down. Now by way of story into segue, as far as gaming week, so a lot more Rocket League, Hearthstone as always, but Rocket League had an interesting one where. Before I do, I'm using that as a transition to what we're going to talk about. So first I'll say my kid's going crazy with his sleep hours. He's teething, so he's created a new habit where he wakes up at 3 or 4 in the morning and just stays awake for 2 or 3 hours, like with amazing amounts of energy. So that's been fun for a little while. Seems like he's getting a little bit over it. So yeah, when you say
frozen washcloth,
yeah, and like the various other like teether type things that we had for him. It's not, he's not in a terrible amount of pain, fortunately. It's really just a little bit of discomfort, and he just boom, awake, so awake. So that's been fatherhood for me recently. It's like trying to soothe him and soothe myself as it's 3 in the morning. But with gaming, Rocket League, playing away, still having a great time with it. Playing this one team, and they're named all the exact same. So I guess they were some sort of team together, or like always play together. It's like BAM, like bracket 1, BAM 2, and BAM 3. and enter the game and just say like, yeah, okay, whatever, replay. And I get matched up with the same guys. The next thing you know, like I'm looking in the chat and they're just blasted me. It's like, F you, like my gamer tag is good times. And it's like, F you, good times, you suck. Do you believe it? Just like a stream of it. They're hating me so hard. Yep. Like, what is this? Like we're in cars, like hitting a soccer ball. Like what? And you don't even know, like what? I didn't say anything. I don't know if I like cut you off, like, or something that I'm such in my rocket car playing soccer.
My wife got the finger the other day driving the speed limit. Like someone was behind us and we're driving the speed limit and they're honking and then they pass us and give her the finger.
See, probably people.
I knew that they were going to pass us and do that, so I already had mine locked and loaded, so they got 2 in return. Like, I see your 1 and I raise you 2.
Or twist, they didn't have one and they saw yours. They're like, I'll show this guy.
Preemptive.
Yeah.
You're the aggressor.
But no, it's just sometimes people take things way too seriously. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. It's just a game, or it's just a TV show, or it's just this or just that. It's like, calm down. Life's too short to get.
Yeah, I literally don't think, and we got beaten terribly on the previous game, so I don't think it wasn't like he was angry because they lost. So I think it was, if anything, I think it was probably trolling, like they were hoping to get a rise out of me, and I'll respond. But yeah, sure, I'm gonna let me just correct you on the internet. I can't wait. This will work out great for me.
Well, you click next game, right? You're like,
I believe you were incorrect on the internet. I want to fix this. Yeah, that's not going to work.
And then as a resolution, they're like, oh, that's an excellent point. Well said, sir. I will rethink some of my life choices. Rocket League.
I hear a disagreement coming to a reasonable conclusion on the internet is one of the first signs of the Book of Revelations.
Hey, yeah. Won't happen.
And when that happens, that's when the 4 horsemen come over the hill and the seas turn to blood.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
It's something like that. Or it's a YouTube comment says, "Great job."
I think it's even rarer than that. It's more rare than that would ever happen. Yeah, I use that as a segue anyways because Rocket League is a game heavily focused on multiplayer. You really are you can play bots, but ultimately it's just about playing multiplayer.
It's team competition.
Yeah, most of the games that we even mentioned there, Battleborn, Battlefront, and basically any game that we had rattled off, going to have multiplayer. It's going to be online. The current landscape has every game with some online component where they're interacting with people. If that continues to be the push, like what is that future? And that just kind of gets into what we had started to talk about today as far as what is that future of gaming. So even already with games and the ability to chat and with such a huge push for multiplayer, is every game our kid going to play have that online component? Is it going to be multiplayer? Is it going to be a bunch of bullying online through it that we're going to have to be aware of? Like what heck technology are they even going to use like to play these games in the future? So, I mean, as much as we're looking now into our 6-month window for games that are coming out, with the current landscape of where we are, like what will our kids be playing?
Like VR bullying.
Yeah, oh my God.
Swirly.
Great.
In the
DLC to protect yourself.
Yeah, actually, they kind of already do that though. Like when you die in a first-person shooter and people like teabag you, like that's what that is.
But what will be the more advanced form of teabagging? That's
It'll be all on your face. It'll be
with the Oculus. That's what it's gonna be. Is you're gonna have to endure that stuff with the Oculus on your face.
Oh.
And the Oculus like compresses like in time with.
It releases like a misty fog.
Tears? Just tears.
Just your own tears.
Yeah, but also is it like so I mean Battleborn, just in one example, like it's MOBA style, so it's like team versus team online, you and 4 or 5 whatever go against another guy 4 and 5. There's a huge push for that. There's that, League of Legends, Smite, a ton of these type of games, and those proliferate more. We grew up on solo experiences. Are we going to see like this push, this constant proliferation of multiplayer experiences, given it's like, I was going to say like easier development. That's not quite the case, but just an ability for that. There's no such thing as a story, so it's never quite done. It's about playing in constant matches. Do you think our kids will be playing more multiplayer games than we are currently? Are they going to lose single player?
Well, I think the line for multiplayer and the idea of multiplayer is starting to get a little vague and
Blurred,
it's like a
yeah.
gray zone now. Because when you look at games like like
Halo.
Dark Souls, Dark Souls, it doesn't it does have a multiplayer esque component in the way of communicating with other players and where they die. Um, even with the Mario Maker, like yes, somebody made that map, but then you also see on the map where people failed. So
Yeah.
these little notes all pop up. And I think that's that sort of trend right now with social media and Twitter is that incessant need for us to share everything. Like even the new PlayStation 4 controller has a button to share what you're doing, and you can link it with your Facebook or Twitter account. So if it isn't just multiplayer interaction, if it is only a single player experience as far as narrative goes, and it is a story focused item, there's still that, I think, component of, well, yes, I'm experiencing this by myself, but I need to tell everybody about it, or else it's not real.
Yeah, I could see that with like game mechanics, right? I think are
Yeah.
changing, right? Like Mario Maker and Demon Souls, Dark Souls, even No Man's Sky, right? So
exactly.
you're
Yeah,
in this
that's a really good
huge
example.
connected universe, not likely to see anybody, but you are still connected, right? So it could happen. That's a little bit of a different, but it's
Yeah.
built within the game. So I think, again, the lines are being blurred, but in maybe a good way. It's just I think it will take some information and some teaching to your kids just
Yeah.
to what you put online, what you say to people online, and,
Mhm.
and what cyberbullying is, because that's going to be a big thing.
It is,
But
and like to be able to not get to understand and just be like, just don't respond to it. You don't need to. Like,
yeah,
if they're trying to troll you into a reaction, then if you do anything to cater to that, then they've gotten what they wanted.
right.
The lure has caught the fish. Um,
Even becoming the bully too, right? Like if
that
you,
too,
it
yeah. It's
creates a
like,
sense of community, so you get online with your friends, and you can actually become the bullies to someone that's not, in that game or in your, friends list. They're playing from another part of the world,
mhm.
and may, not be part of you. So
Yeah.
it'll be different. Uh,
Like I've sought out when playing multiplayer, like I've sought out individuals because it's like, okay, I'm tired of that person farting around. I'm going after them. But like I've never done it verbally. It's just been a matter of I still played by the rules of the game,
yeah,
but
in
I
game.
focused all of my attention on that person. So I was kind of picking on them, but I wasn't doing it unsportsmanly. Like it was like if you're playing hockey and it's like, all right, I'm gonna check this person every opportunity I get, um, because I just want to put them into the boards because they tried to trick me and I didn't like that.
I think we made a new
So
parenting technique, right? You get online, your kid's online, you get on somewhere else, and you come in and keep checking them or killing them, just like, no, you're not
like
playing this right
helicopter
now.
parenting from a real helicopter in Call of Duty. You're just in a Black Hawk
That's
watching
it.
your kid.
Just pounding them.
See, I just love the scenario where it's just like your kid, like you're online playing a game, a guy's bullying you, teabagging you, like calling you out in the comments, and you're like, "Who is this guy? Like he keeps teabagging me." And then you hear from the other room, your kid like, "Ha, I keep teabagging this guy. This is hilarious." You're like, "What, son?
That's it.
How dare you?
Yeah.
You're the problem." Yeah, it's curious because we're not like we're participating in it now, but I don't. It's good. In some ways, I think we're almost ill-equipped to assist or direct. I mean, we're gonna learn and do our best, but like at the moment, as far as like great techniques in dealing with online bullying, especially from a social media aspect, when you like if
It's like with
if your
all
son got
bullying, though, it's just don't engage. You just don't engage. It's like dealing with any sociopath. Don't engage. And like sometimes bullies are coming from a place where they have a lot of rough stuff going on in their life. So like you're actually helping them by not engaging because you're helping them not participate in that activity. Um, it's I think that's the one of the best tools to do, and it's a very hard practice to execute because bullying can really get under your skin, and people can really rub you the wrong way and get you fired up and hot under the collar, and you just want to be like, no, don't call me that. That's not what you want to fight back.
Yeah.
And that's when you react the way that they are looking for. Like, they're looking for you to see their actions as getting under your skin. And as soon as you show them any evidence of it working, then they'll keep coming at you. And I think it's just a matter of just don't engage with it, and that's one of the primary ones. There's certain times where that won't work. It's not like that's I just solved bullying. Everybody listen.
You did
But,
it, guys.
Myself growing up, that was something I discovered. It was partly due to gaining confidence a little bit later in my adolescence, and part of that was like finding ways of no longer having to worry about being physically bullied. But even the emotional bullying was the hard thing for me, and I realized that it's like, well, if I don't participate with them, they get bored, and I'm no longer providing them with what they need, which is an opportunity to look big in front of their friends. And if I don't give them that opportunity to look big in front of their friends, they're just going to go and break a cafeteria tray, and that will do the trick. And then nobody got hurt, except for maybe the cafeteria lady's going to be upset because another tray got broken. But I don't provide them that outlet, and that helped. So I think with online, it's, there's block buttons for a reason. If somebody really harasses you, you file a complaint, even anonymously. If they're doing it to you, they're doing it to enough people that they won't know who filed the complaint anyways.
I think the big thing will be exposure too, because when we were growing up, we were exposed kind of online gaming maybe when we were 12, 13, so we had a better grasp on bullies. Now, like, my kid is 5, he can get on the 3DS and get into Wi-Fi, and he might be communicating with somebody that's 35 years old, trying, either preying on him, bullying on him, whatever. Yeah. So I think it's a matter of when we expose our kids to that, and when they kind of fully understand what a bully is, how to deal with somebody that's not their age and can outsmart them, right? That's where parenting is really going to
bullies that we were exposed to were in our own schoolyard. So
right.
It was a level playing field, but now they might be, punching above their weight class, so to speak. And it's like, it's a different sort of playground.
Yeah, so I guess in some ways that kind of relates to a hope that I have for the future in gaming. I don't know that we've seen it any direction of it not of going this way, but ultimately, if everything does keep making a push to be online, super social, multiplayer, like if you lose that ability to have fantasy and then power fantasy, in the sense that when you become Nathan Drake, like. Wait, it is Nathan Drake.
It is,
yeah. I said it, I'm just like, oh no, I don't think that sounds right. And you're like, who are you talking about? All right.
Correct.
But when you become Nathan Drake, like you're ziplining around, you're fighting, you're a swashbuckler. Like you get to become that character. Like that's the escapism, that's the power. When you're just one of 5 Master Chiefs fighting 5 Master Chiefs, and you suck at that game, like there's a competitiveness to it, and there's a decent chance you're not going to be the best of it. So you've lost that whole what ultimately was one of the best avenues for it. And I guess I'm hoping in the future, as they keep going for the kids, that so much multiplayer push doesn't result in a complete lack of single player, which enables some of the great moments of gaming as far as escapism and enjoyment.
You can't have that personal experience in a pack mentality. And you made a very good point with Halo and how, like, it looks like a beautifully put together game, but that choice to do like 2 separate narrative arcs with 4-player co-op in each, it removes that opportunity of having it be just.
Which one is that? You talk about the new one?
Yeah, have it just be the story of Master Chief, because even Master Chief, his story, there's others along for the ride with him. Where before it was always him and like the NPC of Cortana, who was just kind of a parrot on his shoulder. But there wasn't other people by his side, shooting and fighting by his side. And I think that was one thing about the game that kind of made me scratch my head. And I think having 4-player co-op is a fantastic idea. Other Halo games, it was just you would have 4 duplicates of Master Chief, and nobody would really question it because it didn't matter when you're playing co-op. I think it was a challenge for the writers to try to figure out a narrative that incorporated 4 players, but I think maybe they might have had an opportunity that they missed out on in having, if you want to play single player, just play the Master Chief campaign. If you want to play 4-player co-op with like a single player narrative, you can play as the Sergeant Locke, or I can't remember the new protagonist's name, but there's a new Spartan, Spartan Locke, I think his name is. But him and 4 or 3 others are basically tasked with hunting down Master Chief. So instead of hunting down Master Chief and his friends, to maybe just hunt down Master Chief. I haven't played the game yet. I don't know a whole bunch about it, so I could be entirely wrong. That could be exactly how the game's constructed, for all I know. It could just blowing smoke. But there's certainly, like, Left 4 Dead was another game where atmosphere was awesome, everything was great, and even the story, there was a bit of a narrative there, but at the end of the day, it was just the 4 of you shooting at zombies. And co-op can sometimes get in the way. I think one of the few games that did co-op multiplayers with a full narrative arc successfully was the Gears of War series. Because you were fighting with a platoon, and those characters were with you regardless of whether you're playing by yourself or with others. So that kind of, when Dom was by your side, it was either Dom controlled by the AI or Dom controlled by your buddy online, but it didn't affect the narrative. The narrative was still about you getting through. And I think it's a very hard balance to strike, to let everybody play together through the story, but not have it affect your individual story arc of, I want to feel the power fantasy of being this hero character. I don't think the new Lara Croft series would have worked successfully as a co-op game, because it's about Lara Croft dealing with becoming Lara Croft. I think sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. It's the same as why Cormac McCarthy didn't really write any musicals. It's not his thing. It's a little bit too cheery.
And I think with the co-op stuff too is that basically people are jerks. So if you get
let's break it down for a second, guys. People are jerks, okay?
They are. Like, I remember Counterstrike, right?
I can just imagine you telling this to your kids too. All right, sons, time for
don't go on like
lesson the first.
Human beings are horrible.
You're jerks. I remember Counterstrike way back when, in my day, and you'd be terrorists versus counter-terrorists, and every single time you pick your weapon, you're ready to go, the countdown's going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You're supposed to strategically get into place and get the other side. There's always one jerk just loading off his gun into the other guy's head, and there's no team damage, but he's just loading it and he's just firing it off just to be a jerk, or blocking another person, or jumping up with his knife and trying to hit him in the head. So it's just, if you have a great team and it's a 4-player co-op story mode, you can have one of the best experiences of your life, but you're really connecting to anybody that's out there, and it's just, it's not, to me, it's not a good mechanic that way. If it's like
LARPing with somebody who's not into it.
Right, yeah. And
it's like if you're playing make-believe and you all want to play make-believe, but then there's some yahoo just jumping around like a jackrabbit, you're like, you know what? You're totally taking us out of this sci-fi fantasy experience by acting like a buffoon. Because the character that you are embodying in this narrative would not do that.
It just seems to be getting younger too, as far as like Zelda Triforce, the new one that just came out, like as a multiplayer experience. So like a Zelda game, same dungeon crawling stuff, has like the Super Nintendo kind of aesthetic to it, but there's supposed to be 3 of you, like you're supposed to join up with friends and like buddies and such, and it's like, man, that's a really young targeted game. to start be pushing this type of stuff. And yeah, like maybe it gets more in, like the having to have people like involved in it, like having to have multiplayer and like having so much focus and effort being put into it and what we lose from it.
Well, they have, like with Zelda, they've done some multiplayer in the past, but it was like you physically would wire your Game Boys together.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of tough to see what gets sacrificed in regards to storytelling techniques, for the sake of being able to cater to multiple different people with multiple different decision-making capabilities, and also needs from the story. So it is a bit of a juggling act, and sometimes it's like, you know what, maybe we'll sacrifice this gameplay component and this multiplayer component, or at the very least the interactive multiplayer, like the active multiplayer, as opposed to passive multiplayer like with Mario Maker or with like Demon Souls, where you can kind of leave little notes and stuff. Actually, even Dying Light, I'm playing that right now. There is a co-op component, but you don't have to do it. And that was actually something, the previous game that same company made, the Dead Island game. All the cutscenes had all 4 characters that were available for co-op, regardless if you're playing co-op or not. Like, the story continued with all 4 of those characters. Even if you were playing a co-op game with 3 other people and all 4 of you were the exact same character, cutscenes would still have 1 of each character.
Oh, that's neat.
So it would maintain the integrity of the plot, but it would also be a little weird to see duplicates running around in the environment. It would remove you a bit.
Dead Space did that well, though, like a duplicate. I remember that one. But again, hard to find someone to play with.
Who
I had a kid.
like a fool.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I had a kid. My friends at that point did not have kids, so I could only play, 1 chapter, and then I'm sorry, I'm cooked. I gotta go to bed, and they're stuck there. So they would finish the game, and I would not.
Yeah, jeez, like that. Yeah, now that we're playing anything, we play multiplayer too. Like, it really kind of needs to be a level. I started to play a little bit of Diablo 3. Unfortunately, never really got very far. Buddies of mine blasted ahead. Like, they're level whatever 90, every mythical legendary weapon you could possibly imagine, and like my guy's like level 6. He's got like a slingshot, and it's just like, well, like we're never playing again. Like, it's just because baby duty's call. So there was just no chance to keep up with the leveling to possibly be able to play with other people.
No, and I think like with this whole overall talk, I do think the way technology's going, it will be more multiplayer centric, or it all blows up and Facebook, Twitter, everybody, like the privacy cloud or whatever, implodes and nobody posts anything about anybody's lives and we all go back to the old days. But more than likely, we'll all be interconnected even more so, and maybe we're not giving our kids enough credit because they will grow up with it and maybe know how to deal with it as they're learning it, versus us where we learned it but it was at a different time, right? So we did the same sort of thing.
Between us and them that fell on their swords and made the bad choices online.
Yeah. Like, learn from my mistakes.
Who have made examples of themselves for the following generations to see the idea of information permanence.
Right.
And our generation has pushed it to its worst possible corners, right? As far as like they really figured out like this is like chats are kind of a bad idea, and with sorry to mention Hearthstone again, but they didn't implement the chatting system. Like, you just can't chat to the guy you're playing against. Oh, okay. You can emote, so you can say things like oops, or like great play, or whatever else you want to do. But that's it. Like, because they ultimately looked at it, they looked at the landscape and they said, there's going to be nothing added to allowing people to chat and have those kind of angry conversations. Rocket League, like, you can stop the game and type something, but it's way too hectic too. So they implemented a quick kind of like kind of a token kind of system, right? As well. Yeah, it's just like, hey, like, nice shot, good pass, go defense, like fun type of stuff. So in many ways, like, we've found all the nooks and crannies and the dark alleyways of how gross and awful things can get, and now we're building the new stuff. Like our ages have gone, at least got the taste of how awful it can get. So all new conversations in many ways start with, okay, what can we do to make it better? Like, what is your abuse system? Like, that's a conversation people have now. As far as so. Perhaps.
Well, I think we're seeing that already, like as you said with Hearthstone, and I've also with the Wii U. I think personally here's how I see the issue of human interaction with online gaming being solved, and it's with emojis, because it's really hard.
Okay, bring this home, Gavin.
Well, yeah,
let's do this.
But yeah, no, just okay. With the emojis, it's a modular communication system where you can't really add too much pepper to it, so to speak. Like, there's no emoji for like derogatory statements. Like, it's really like a smiley face, frowny face, poo shape thing or whatever. Like, even the worst emoji is juvenile at best. So I think having things like pre-canned communication, like a modular communication system for each game that's catered to a particular style of the game, will remove that. It'll allow players to still communicate what they need to communicate in regards to the gameplay. So, like, if you are playing something like Battlefront, you're able to tell people to like attack that target. But not only are you telling them to attack that target, but you're telling them to attack that target in a voice-acted, like properly sounding audio clip of a character from that universe, as opposed to just some like preteen guy who's still figuring out what his voice sounds like, shouting it at the top of his lungs in a $3 microphone. So I think those sorts of communication methods will help with that, because it'll allow people to say what they need to say for the sake of the game being able to move forward, but it will remove and mute their ability to say anything but. See?
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. Little thumbs up, emoji there for you. Yeah.
There you go. Trevor agrees, and he didn't call me a name.
No.
You brought it home, Gavin. Good work.
There you go.
It was out of the poo emoji, and I thought your explanation did pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jeff, like, closing thoughts on how future gaming will be. I guess we've kind of taken it to more the multiplayer stint, but
no, I think it will be more interconnected for sure, and I think we just need to monitor our kids like any good parent would, and just even be in their world a little bit, because I know a lot of parents get disconnected from what their kids are doing. So even I think with our generation, it might not be the same problem, because we're mostly technology, kind of into technology, and we can ride along with it. So I know I will be
enthusiastic too, because
3DS.
We're wanting to be around with them. So we'll be the lame parents being like, "Can I play Battlefront 18 with you?"
But honey, I have to play the video game. The boy wants to.
Test it out.
I got to beat it first to know if there's any bad words. What kind of parent am I?
But I think we'll be more involved, and I don't think it'll be an issue. I just think it's a monitoring issue, and just see what happens, and where there are issues, find solutions and correct it, right? But I think that's kind of goes back to what we've talked about on just watching our kids, and it will be interconnected. I don't think it will implode. I don't think people will go back to just solo, single player, come over to my house kind of games. It'll be all online. It'll be one huge community, hopefully, and whether or not they go with like the universal like emoji kind of way to create that experience in each game and kind of control the experience, or if it's more loosely based and have people yelling, screaming at each other, I don't know. But again, monitor it. But I think that's the future, is just everybody's talking to everybody.
Yeah, hopefully I do. Yeah, and like I said, as long as we know how bad it can get, people are getting smarter, we are knowledgeable about it, and I think ideally we're looking at a very bright gaming future for our kids.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of fun stuff out there.
I hope so. I want to play a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to play my kids' games.
I seriously can't. I turn on the 3D though. I turn on the 3D and play some Mario Kart.
That's awesome. So everyone, that will do it for this week. As always, we'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or show suggestions, you can reach us at our website at newdadgaming.com. We do this show weekly, and you can also please like and subscribe on us on YouTube or where any fine podcasts are found. So we'll see you next week, and as always, I am Trevor, and I have a 4-month-old.
I'm Gavin. I have an almost 3-month-old.
I'm Jeff. I have a 2.5 and a 5-year-old.
Great. Have a great week, guys.
See you.
Bye.